Good morning, traders, and welcome to Price Action GPS. I'm the Market Surfer, here with your morning report for Wednesday, July 26th, 2023. Good morning, everybody. On today's earnings, right here, I will put this link in. AT&T, Boeing, Chipotle, CME Group, Coca-Cola, eBay. These are probably a lot of decent earnings coming out today. It should shake the market, but it won't do anything until you hear the Fed speak later on. That's more or less, I wouldn't say the problem, but that'll be the catalyst for anything moving. Penske Auto, Quest Diagnostics, Seagate Technology, United Rentals, that's an important one. For different, Tilray, I have them on my thing. I believe that's a marijuana company. So that earnings for today, economic calendar for today, new home sales, FOMC decision on interest rate policy. I'm sure they'll go up by a quarter point. Fed Chairman Powell's press conference. This is what will move the market, but it'll be pretty much at the end of the day, and after they digest it, I'm sure overnight we'll get some movement in the market. Not to mention, PacWest agreed to combine with smaller rival Banc of California. An all-stock deal that would end the independence of a regional lender that came under intense scrutiny following the downfall of Silicon Valley Bank. So I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but basically they're having issues. So now the banking sector is, instead of having mergers and acquisitions, they're just merging because there's not enough money to fill the coffers of the banks. So let's just put it in different terms. There's only going to be enough banks to facilitate what money is needed. And I don't think the money in the system is there to facilitate the banks in the sense of supply and demand of dollars. Now, what is going on is they're feeling the mark-to-market problem. Still goes back to, what was it, October, November of last year when J.P. Morgan and the bank said they were $70 billion in paper losses, whatever. This is mark to market. Your assets are not worth what you paid for them. They're underwater, or it's more feasible for investors to buy treasury bonds and bonds of any kind that are giving good returns as opposed to putting the money in the market. That's another problem. And all these, as the banks, or as the pundits will talk about the banks, they'll say a lot of uninsured deposits. Well, I mean, what would you do if you had uninsured deposits? I would probably move them over to something insured, like a bond, but it's just the nature of the business. This is the way the system works. So unfortunately, the banks are They're at risk because it's easy for people to short them and push them down because their assets and liabilities are out of whack. That's just banking industry, and that's trading. So I'll put that in the show notes as well. And I tried to look at their assets, but they own so many assets. Look how many pages it goes on for. So that's a moot point. But obviously this may go back to mortgages and refis and things like that, and all the real estate that they may have backed or own the note to. And of course, here we go to Spotify. Report weaker than expected second quarter revenue despite user gains. I think I can put this in the show notes as well. This is from my charting. So gross margin dipped to 24.1% from 24.6%. That's not that bad. Year-over-year, due primarily to charges associated with the shutdown of various podcast shows. So Mr. Curry, Mr. Podfather, you are correct again. They're having a problem. They cannot monetize the network. So I believe they are raising the price of their family plan. At least that's the notice I got because we pay for the family plan. Our premium average revenue per user declined 6%. That's bad. And the price will increase moderately, help in the third quarter, he said, according to Capital IQ transcript. Expecting currency neutral There you go. That's a good term that will be coming up left and right. Wow. Didn't catch that at first. So Spotify's in trouble, and we'll go right to their chart. Sorry, let me get there. We go. Because look at that. We didn't even make it to close the gap. We got to this high right here, and that was it. It rolled over. There's the daily chart. Let's go to 4-hour chart. Yeah, right there was the signal, and it just fell off the map. That's a good level of support. Don't know if we're going to hold support there. But if we're going to continue to go down, we'll at least go sideways for a little bit. Maybe come back up to the 148 mark, and we'll probably finish closing this gap down here at 100. I mean, that could take another 6 months. Just saying, once this rolled over, you were kind of in right there, but timing the market is tough. I'm not going to say it isn't, because the problem with the options is with the earnings that close to where you want to do the options, it makes it a little tougher. You may have gotten a lot less volatility around here if you bought those options, lost a little money as it went up, but when this happened, it made up for it. But it's still hard to trade options nowadays because there's so many and they're so diluted. You don't get the proper value for when things like this happen. But that's a 4-hour. Go to a daily. They should rebound a little bit, but I think we're going to probably end up at least around here soon. So if you can try to catch it when it goes back up, maybe close that gap and then finish down here. At least that's how I'm going to try to play it. I'll go right to Bitcoin. Sorry, Bitcoin is still holding sideways. I expected another run up real quick. It'd be a third high, but let's see. To September, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go. Chart wise, it looks like that could happen. But economically, I'm not sure. The dollar's about to get strong again. Well, we could pop up to there. So, okay, that would explain if the dollar got that much weaker. May extend Bitcoin's run just a little bit. But that right there is probably as high as we're going to go with the dollar. And then we should fail down here. That's how I see it. And that should be the catalyst to go long on the dollar again. Or that could happen because if they raise interest rates by, another 0.25%, they should push this down. Or push it up. So maybe that's the boost we get there. I'm sorry, I'm going to skim through some of these today. Gold, definitely. Gold that's the 4-hour. Man. In this zone here. Wait for this to finish, but when this... I don't know if it's going to be because the dollar gets stronger or what's going to cause gold to push down, but we may even go down to the zero line. Let's get up to this zone right here, get a failure. That'll be the first stop, second stop, and I would say the third stop's down to here. US 2-year, same thing. I mean, we basically reached new highs right there, and we're in that same type of zone where we could have a higher price with lower momentum. And Starbucks, still waiting for them to roll over, but we're looking like we're there. Earnings are coming up soon. Dividends are paying soon, so no one's going to buy calls because at the calls you kind of have to pay the dividend out of your call options. So this is going to get a little volatile soon because of the pressures of this right here. And here's the Domino's Pizza. Earnings aren't yet. Oh, that's the next earnings. Okay, so earnings were the other day that did good. There you go. That popped up to there, but I don't think we're going any higher. There should be a sell-off. And Sean, that's still holding, man. It's still holding, but I would probably get out of it. At least keep my stop tight because the momentum looks like it's starting to roll over. Go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, we're right up against that. And that should push down. Whether or not we get to newer lows, we don't know because this is what we're doing. We're waiting for this congestion to break to the downside. and see if we should find support at any of these levels. Because if that happens, you may get a new high at that point. I still believe that there's going to be a lot of sell-off here because there'll be a lot of happy people that are getting their money back at those levels. I think that's what's going on around here. And with that being said, everyone, this is a value for value endeavor. If you find value in this, please return it in the sign of a thumbs up, a comment. Most importantly, if you want to really support, if you really like what we do, you can always go to podcastapps.com, download a Podcasting 2.0 app with all the bells and whistles, the fun features, the boostograms. And you can always send a boostogram. I mean, they're pennies, dollars, whatever you want to send. We just wanted to hear from you. And, of course, if you're watching this on No Agenda Tube, please support No Agenda Tube. And we do have a Albie Wallet there with a boost button. I do not have it set up, but Lover of Knowledge sent me another nice note, and so did, of course, Sir Alex. So thanks, everyone, for their support. I'll talk to you guys probably next Monday. So thanks again. Stay safe and effective, and enjoy your week.